Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is November 12th, 2021. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. We do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. Nobody's been convicted of anything in a court of law yet. Like I said, yet. Apply the but-for standard. But for Mr. Perry's provoking and aggression, acts of aggression towards me, stalking, harassment, every RICO violation you can imagine, on and on and on. We wouldn't do these. These are the stalker. Everything is to establish premeditation and malicious intent. When our cop guys get like some recording of him, he's gonna do something to me, my car. He's gonna hurt me, false arrest, all on and on and on. So we're gonna document that, and one of two things is gonna happen: either it's going to protect me and he won't do it, or it makes it harder for him to do and get away with. If he does it, then we've got, like I said, premeditation and malicious intent. So that's the but-for standard that the test that we are applying here. We assert all civil rights. You shouldn't have to assert a civil right. It just is. It's just your right as a citizen. But we do. So there's that. So I'm the member of this group, Survivors of Stalking, and I'm not the only one, as you can see, documenting. See, we all do it. You have no choice. If you call the cops and you go, I have a stalker and here's what he's doing, they're going to want to see evidence of it, are they not? They don't have a choice. It's not a mean thing cops do. They have, if they want to make an arrest and prosecute in a court of law, you got to prove your case. So we've got all these here of people like me who are going through shit from somebody who's got a weird obsession and can't just go fucking get a life. We talk about different. See, we're all hacked. A lot of us are hacked. A lot of us are victims of voyeurism. Somebody put a camera in our house against our will, and it's disgusting and gross. It is against the law, Mr. Perry. We've got all this here. Look at this information we share with each other. We're all talking. Oh gosh, we talk bad about the guys stalking us, don't we? There's no hugs. There's no, oh gosh, I'm so glad he, there is, oh my gosh, how do I get this weirdo off me? Over and over, everybody says the same thing. I can't handle it. Sometimes we have people in here that are expressing depression because they don't think they feel like it's never going to end. They feel like it's never going to fucking end. They get depressed. It's, see, look at this. How do you get the hacking to stop? Right? So Mr. Perry's already typed in my phone all fucking day. And I'm going, I didn't ask you what you think. I told you to get out of my phone. Didn't ask you what you think. Told you to get out of my phone. He's always wanting to talk about the CJ case. The CJ case is my state court claim that I sued him. I've filed a motion to vacate. I have not looked at it since last Friday. He's telling me already he won. There's supposed to be a hearing. Patel versus OMH requires a hearing. You got to have it. There's been 2 or 3 like this where you were supposed to have a hearing by law and there wasn't one. And I'm not in court, and he'll sneak around and go do these backdoor deals. And there's an ex parte hearing. I'm not there. And guess what we hear a lot of, Mr. Perry? When you hear her podcast, then you know why he won't let her in court. Nothing he says makes any sense at all. Everything she says makes perfect sense. So now when we hear her talk, we know exactly why he wouldn't let her testify for Mike Nealey, which if he didn't do that murder, he wouldn't give a shit, first of all. Second of all, on her 3 civil suits, she's never in any hearings. I was in one. I was in the very, very first one that we had, and Mr. Perry's motion to dismiss was denied by the magistrate judge. After that, they won't let me back in. The funny thing is there's 5 attorneys. There's 5 defendants. All of them have seasoned attorneys. I've not been to law school. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And yet, whatever I did right enough to where now they won't let me in the hearings. And Mr. Perry, again, if we're repeating what you just said, like I didn't go to the car dealer today because of what you were recorded talking about. So if we can get that, we got it ear to the ground in a lot of places, and a lot of people think that gives me a whole lot of credibility. It takes away yours. You won't let me talk in a court. Those are my lawsuits. The plaintiff has the burden of proof, and the plaintiff's not in the courtroom. And I described this as Mr. Perry has a very bad habit of concealment of material facts that could change the outcome. And if you read U.S. versus Strom, U.S. versus Freeland, that's fraud, perjury by concealment. There has to be a few things in play. One is the person has a duty to disclose the fact. That might be the situation with Travis Myers and Gene Mitchell in the case of in the murder trial of Officer Nealey. And the second thing is, it's a they have to knowingly conceal it. That means they don't want the court to hear it. They're trying to keep it out. Second of all, it's a material fact pertinent to the case. Next thing is, it's the fact is compelling enough it can change the outcome. Well, I'm telling everybody in March, including the Florida State's attorney and anyone else who would listen, Mr. Nealey did not commit this murder. He didn't do it. He was drugged. There was nothing out yet about that. Nothing out. Only thing that was out was he had his interview, and that was out. And he's telling the Detective Fife over in Pensacola, look at my hands. There's nothing on them. What do you mean? Lucky's dead and we were in a fight. I don't believe you. Look at my. I don't look like I was in a fight. I'm a detective. You got to have bruising and such to prove that you were in a fight, and I don't have that. Scamby gets pissed off and walks out. It seems like you don't know what you're talking about. No shit, Sherlock. He slept through the whole thing. He was drugged, like I said. I said it in March 2020. I said it in January 2020. I said it in emails. That's the whole purpose of documenting, bitch. You document it in an email. You document it in a text. You document it somewhere, somehow. And you make sure it's known before. Not as an afterthought. Like you're trying to explain some bullshit lie like you do. I document it beforehand. And if I get a phone call from a cop that's investigating you that tells me, don't go to the car dealership. Here's why. Listen to this. And they play a recording of you planning some bullshit with my car again. I'm not going to go. And you guys get all shocked and dismayed. She didn't go. Why would I? It's all over everywhere. I knew you, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't, if it's out everywhere, that means I know you're caught. That's what our judge was complaining about. I've never seen anybody, they keep getting caught. Like, I've heard 50 fucking, he didn't say fucking, I've heard 50 or so conversations about them wanting her ringtone. Do they not know they're caught? Why are they, what's wrong with people that keep doing the same thing that she's already said she knows they're trying to do? That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. What is wrong with you? Like, I guess there's like some group of you that are mentally ill and mentally slow. And I mean, here's the way it looks like to us, is that we go to Mr. Perry or Richard, or one of you other ones, and we say, you guys got recorded talking about robbing Bank of America over on Street X and Y at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And the cops are all going to be there waiting for you when you get there. Oh, it's all right. We're going to do it anyways. Are you sure? Because the cops they already know you're caught. They're going to be waiting for you. Oh, well, we're going to do it anyway. Okay. And you show up to rob the bank at 9 o'clock, at Bank of America on the Street X and Y. And the cops are there, full SWAT's there. And you think you're going to do it anyway. You even try to walk in the bank. And they take your ass down and you go to jail. This is the same thing. This is the same damn thing. You're caught on the ringtone. You're caught on the ringtone. You're caught on the ringtone. We said it like over and over and over. And the judge is like, the one that he grants investigatory orders right now. Don't you keep wanting to know how we get what we get? And are they legally obtained? Well, you can ask him. How about that? So, a lot of us complain about the same things. We're all complaining about getting hacked. Mr. Perry's typing in my phone about the CJ case. Well, I'm going to see you in court, right? Are you going to do it legally this time or not? Are you going to face me like a man, or are you going to be a coward again? And make everybody go, well, this gives her a whole lot more credibility. Number one, she's not stupid and crazy, or he'd make sure she was in that courtroom to show she's stupid and crazy. Instead, he keeps trying to keep her out of it. He won't let her testify for Mike. She had major pertinent information that would have definitely changed the outcome. He made sure she didn't testify, and she complained about it and ranted and raved for a year. That's what the reporter tells my guy. If we didn't know, if we didn't think you were right before, we do now, because he did exactly what she said, and you do it every time. You do it every fucking time. It's so easy, it's not even fair. It's giving us a headache. Like, where did all this stupid come from? Why did you expect me to go to the dealer today, the car dealer? Why would you have that expectation? First of all, you shouldn't know my plans. You shouldn't know my schedule. You shouldn't care. You claim you're not a stalker. What difference does it make to fucking you? Where I'm going to go, if I'm going to go to the dealer today? How would you know? Is he call you when I get there? Because that would be a violation of my privacy laws. Or did you GPS my phone? The fuck do you have cameras in my house watching me get ready when I come and go, when I'm getting ready to go somewhere, don't you? Nobody should know what I did today. Not one person. I don't call anybody. I'm not one of these Facebook people that puts it on Facebook every time I take a shit, every time I eat, some people do that and I don't get it. I really don't. I think you need to get a life. If you have nothing better to do, then put every fucking thing you do on Facebook. But some people do. I'm not that guy. I'm not that girl. I don't have the time. I really don't care. I'm hardly on Facebook. What I am going to tell you is that you shouldn't know. But there's a lot of recordings of you trying to get me to the dealership. Let's do this, and then she'll go to the dealership. Let's do that, and then she'll go to the dealership. There was one guy got recorded. She was supposed to have lost it all this weekend. They had her. She was supposed to go to the car dealership, and he was going to keep her car from her. We had Ernest, her ex-husband, coming up to get her. He did come up that weekend. That weekend that we got that recording. So, what the fuck is your problem? You're caught. I mean, come on now with this. Come on. I mean, you guys are insane. If you think you're fooling people, we're all like, who is it they think they're fooling? Who the fuck do they think they're fooling? So these people are commenting, Charles, that you won't let me in court. You're like concealing material facts because everything I have to say is a material fact. And so, like I've explained before in doing the metaphor, a person takes a picture of a man grabbing a woman's arm in her purse, calls the cops, they arrest him for mugging. It goes to court, preliminary. I'm gonna get this dismissed, thrown out, kind of court, and the lady, the victim, gets on the stand and she goes, that wasn't a mugging. There was no crime here. That's my son. I was gonna fall and he grabbed my arm and my purse to hold me up, to steady me. All of a sudden, it's a whole different thing, isn't it? Because if you only look at the picture where you got a guy grabbing a woman's arm in her purse, it looks like he's mugging her. But if you know the rest of the story, the whole story, what really happened, there was no mugging. There was no crime. So Mr. Perry does that. Mr. Nealey didn't kill anybody. He slept through that whole thing. The fight wasn't between him and Mike. Chief Miller and Mike. The fight was between Chief Miller and the offender over what did you give Mike? He's passed out. Yeah, how do you think I know that, Mr. Perry? Nobody asked me that. That's what's funny. I'm deposed by the Florida State's attorney, who did ask me, by the way, are you a cop? Are you in law enforcement that I need to know about? I said, no. I said, I'm not a cop. That doesn't mean, and I'm not going to tell you what I am because I don't need to and I can't. We think you're in on this. We think you're in on this. So I'm not, and by the way, I wasn't sworn in either, oddly. In my deposition, I wasn't ever sworn in. But I'm not a cop. I've said that. They keep asking me that. I don't know why. Why would you ask me that? Because if I am a cop, I can lie. If I'm a part of an investigation into you, Mr. Perry, and I think Travis Myers is involved, and I think Gene Mitchell is on your payroll, and you're about to screw Mike Nealey over and commit a perjury and a fraud in a court of law, I can lie to him too. They can take me off the books just long enough to have that deposition. So then I'm not lying. If I'm not a cop, I can't say that I am. That's illegal. It's like what? Impersonating a police officer? But I can, if I am a cop, I can say I'm not. So why do you even ask me? I'm something. What if I'm a CI? What if I'm a secretary? What if I'm some, support staff? You don't know. It's none of your business. What you should know at this point is you keep getting caught and no one can explain how that's happening. We need to do this to her. We need to do that to her. And try to make it look like it's not linked to us. Or that way they can't say it's not related. Y'all just said that, didn't you? if I'm repeating what you just said, we've got our ear to the ground in a whole lot of places, and people do not like you or what you're doing. And everybody's sick of it, and everybody wants it stopped. Everybody wants it stopped. What about the CJ case, Perry? What about it? How much did you pay this time? Is there going to be a hearing? Because by law there's supposed to be. But there was supposed to be in the Lubbock case too. Because I asserted the 12-1031 motion to vacate on fraud, state law. In that one. Read my brief. Anybody can read my brief. Anybody can read my brief. North District of Texas, 5:18-CV-137-C for Sam Cummings. Anyone can look it up and see what I said in my motion to vacate. And it was the second one. There'll be a third, unfortunately. He's not getting it. Mr. Judge Cummings is not getting it. But by then, maybe he'll be gone and we'll have a new judge. If I think somebody's in on this, I promise you I'm going to treat them like they are. I'm going to act like you are, and I'm going to get the evidence to prove that. Do you understand? That's what I do. That's how I think. That's exactly how I think. So I'm telling Mr. Myers in my deposition from my Officer Nealey, I knew he was drugged. I told you in March. Depositions weren't taken until May. Nobody else knew this. And he never said, how do you know? Allowing me to say Mr. Perry's being investigated. Watch how he's acting. Look at all the... I said I'm being harassed all the time. Why would Mr. Perry harass me unless he had something to do with that murder? Why would Mr. Roberson harass me unless they had something to do with that murder? What would they care? What would they care? Because the same testimony could be given that I went through and Sherlocked his whole case. I'm going to put this on pause for a minute and then show you.
Select to speak.
Look at his face. That's my kid. He was in Vegas. It was his birthday. He was raised in Vegas. So he's walking down the strip and he runs into some guys and he's talking to them. And look, he said, I think they were on doing drugs or something, or on, not in front of him, but they had, he said it seemed like maybe they had, because he said something not that big of a deal, and this guy just went off the handle and popped him 3 times in the face. And then my son didn't hit back. A security guard thankfully came along and they all went home. Perfectly safe, no one dead. 3 times he's popped. It's really that's a scuffle. That's not really even a fight. But yet he's got blood all over his shirt. His lip is bleeding. He's got a bruise on his cheek there, on his eye, on the left side there, right here. See? Eyes bruised, cheeks bruised, lips. Look at him, my poor kid. Okay, well, and then you got this. Not a fucking thing. The arrest report says not a fucking thing. The arrest report lists swollen red right hand. You can't beat somebody to death with one hand in any situation. And it can't be done. Because Chief Miller had a decapitation, internal decapitation. Extensive damage over his head, neck, and face. Almost, he was strangled, it looks like. He had a blunt force trauma to the head and so forth. Pretty badly beaten. It killed him. He's gone. This time of year is really hard for me with this situation because I hurt for them. I don't really cry much over what Charles does to me. One of these days, well, let me put it this way. Nobody has kicked the crime like I have. Nobody has kicked his criminal ass as hard as I have in his life. And he keeps just pestering and pestering and pestering and pestering. And our shrink is like, he doesn't want to date with a woman. There's no fucking way that's true. And again, when I'm quoting especially the shrink and the judge, they don't cuss. The cuss words are my insertion there, but my cop friends do. I mean, we all cuss bad, but you have to. We're dancing with the devil. I mean, we really, literally are. And we're not going to go up and go around saying, "Gosh, go turn blue, okay?" Like Leave It to Beaver or some bullshit like that. I mean, we're dealing with pure, deep, wicked, fucked up evil. Very, very twisted, sick minds. Every fucking day. I'm re-traumatized every day. I have a creepy fuck who watches me in the privacy of my home and starts trying to talk to me like he thinks we're a romantic couple. And I'm going, oh, and trying to take my car, and trying to arrange another false arrest, and trying to kill me, I mean, it would, if I didn't have these people helping me, I'd lose my mind. I'd lose my mind, because how do you deal with somebody who's violating you so viciously to watch you in the privacy of your house? I'm not in a strip club. I'm not in a fetish club. I'm not in a brothel. I'm in my house. And you watch me against my will, and it is the sickest, grossest, nastiest, most abnormal, bizarre, fucked up thing on the planet. Creepy as fuck. And then he did, and the hacking, and the trying to talk to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, get off me. Get the fuck off me. I don't want to hear it. I didn't ask you. What I asked you to do is get out. So, that alone is traumatizing. Every fucking day I got to deal with that. And while he's trying to tell me this and tell me that, like, we're a couple or we're friends or something, my guys are calling me, playing a recording of him, trying to plan a way to kill me and get away with it. Trying to plan a way to take my car and get away with it. Trying to plan another false arrest and get away with it. Can you imagine having to deal with that every day? What that would do to your mind, your psyche? Talk about psychological abuse. Oh my God, it doesn't get any worse. It does not get any more sick and twisted than that. Thankfully, I have them to keep my head on straight. So our shrink is like, he's not into women. Because when you like women, you do things women like. He does everything that disgusts and repulses Cynthia. Everything she hates. And when he knows she hates it, he does more of it. Just like Dr. Russell said. When he knows it hurts her, he'll do it more. That's not what he's trying to do. He's got a seething hatred for women because he's got mommy issues. She didn't say mommy issues. I'm saying mommy issues. Her terminology is a whole different thing. A whole different... All these words, professional words that even she has said, it's just a term. It's just a word for you. Nothing he does is going to make any sense to you, because I'm like, why isn't he embarrassed? I would be. That's why most people don't do this kind of shit. It's embarrassing. And he should be embarrassed, and he's not. And I don't understand that. I would die. We've had people tell us, if I'm ever as delusional as Charles Perry, kill me. I don't want to live. I don't want to go around making a fool of myself like that, like he does. She hates his guts. You can tell. She's moved twice. I mean, she's done everything she could do to kick that bitch off of her. And he thinks they're in love. What planet is he on? If I'm ever that delusional, shoot me. I don't want to be alive. And make that big of a fool of myself. Fucking looks like an idiot. Can he not tell? They've not seen each other since 2013. She moved twice. She sued him 3 times. How can he not know there's nothing there? By now, he ought to be able to figure that out. She's not asking to see him. She's trying to kick him off. How can he not get that? This is not what a date is. This is not what 2 people do when they care about each other. This is what a woman does when she's being raped. It's an invasion of my privacy, and you disgust my... I mean, I want to throw up every time I even think about you. When you contact me, I want to throw up. I want to barf. I don't love you. You're a Looney Tune. You're a fucked up Looney Tune. At this point, you keep getting told on, Mr. Perry, because everybody's sick of you. And why you don't get that, nobody understands. You really should, Mr. Slow. All of you should. You're caught and you're told on, and you're caught and you're told on. And some of it comes from wiretap orders. Some of it comes from leaks. Because everybody's sick and tired of you. And your little soap opera. And oh, poor me. I got to cover up. I need a cover up. I need a... Yeah. Whiny. What about the CJ case? What'd you do? What did you do? There's supposed to be a hearing, and it's 12/10/31. It's Patel versus OMH. And that's all I'm going to say. Now, you want to brag and, I bought another judge. And think that I'm going to be glad? You are off your nut. Why would I be glad? I want a protective order. I don't want you contacting me. I want a piece of paper that says you can't contact her because you have failed to control yourself and act like a normal man. And so now you got to have a judge to tell you, since you're too stupid to do it on your own, like everybody else. I am embarrassed by you and your inability to act like a normal fucking person. I got rejected 2 or 3 times in my life. I don't care. I moved on. Why can't you? You guys are sick, all of you. What you are doing to him, that also has a lot of people really pissed off at you. And that has helped us get a lot of information. If you don't want to get caught, then I think you better start making some changes. And that would include get him out of jail, make it right with him and his family, and me and mine. And you get your fucking cameras off me. Charles Perry, get the fuck out of my phone and my computers, and you get home to your wife and your kids, and you leave us alone in Oklahoma. We don't want you here. I never invited you into my life in Oklahoma, and fuck you for the imposition and the burden you have made of yourself. No, I didn't go to my car dealer today. Why the fuck would I do that? All we heard for weeks, how do we get her to the car dealer? How do we get her to the car dealer? Did she not go to the car dealer today? No, idiot. You were caught. Why the hell would I do that? What is wrong with you guys? What in the hell's wrong with you? Charles, shut up and get out of my life. I don't like you. You're mean. You're cruel. You don't do things I like. I've told you and told you and told you and told you. I don't like who you are. I don't like what you do. Get off me and get out of my life. And that's the only explanation I owe you. You're a married man. Where the hell is Jackie? And if you did this forged marriage license, get a divorce and give me half of what you own. And get the fuck off me. I don't want to hear from you. I really don't. This guy couldn't have possibly beat anyone to death. There's no way. Just me saying that by that alone, look at him. Someone else did this. Now, Charles Perry and David Robertson at that point had 2 options. Do nothing. Don't react at all. I'm sorry, they had 3. Do nothing and don't react at all. We didn't have anything to do with that. We're going on with our lives. We don't know a thing about it. Number 2, Mr. Perry could step up and say, I'm heartbroken at what I'm looking at this family go through. I had nothing to do with it, but I'm going to fucking find out who did. This man is a police officer. Cynthia had vandalism to her car. She said she wasn't sure who did it. It might be me. I'm going to say right now, it was not me, and I'm going to help find out who it was. We cannot have police officers hurt. Yes, absolutely, she ought to testify. If she knew he was drugged beforehand, she needs to say that it might be that the information that I did it was incorrect. Let's get to the bottom of this and let's find out what happened. I had nothing to do with it, but I sure want to know what happened because anyone can see there's no way he could have done this. Or do what he did and act as guilty as fuck and harass the shit out of me and try to coerce me, and I'm going to take everything you own, and I'm going to force you back to Texas against your will, and I'm going to force you into a slavery situation where you're my sex bitch, and you're going to get up and apologize because I said so, like it or not, and I'm going to starve you until you do, and make me, and literally did it. Did it for a week. I had no electricity. Well, it was longer than that because you have to get behind on an electric bill. You don't just all of a sudden not have electricity. I mean, you get behind on the bill. So this had gone on for months. And I was eating less and less and less. And that week that I had no electricity, I think I went and I bought some bean dip. And that lasted me all week. And that was pretty much all I had to eat all week. That's coercion. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Conversion with intent to coerce. Because during that whole time, my dad owes me money from way back when. And you called him. My guys recorded you. You told them not to give it to me. My guys recorded you. My guys recorded you. My guys recorded you. My guys recorded you. My guys recorded you talking about, got to get her back to the car dealer. Why? What's it to you? You're not stalking. I think you're butting in, and you need to go live your lives. Every time you do that, you get caught, and you guys are slow. You're not getting it yet. And you actually expected me to go to the car dealer today. I was like, wow, my guys are calling me. You're not going to believe this, Sin. They actually are expecting you to go up there today to the car dealer. They're talking about it. I'm like, you're shitting me, right? No, not. What we've told them that we caught them. Yeah, well, and the ringtone. Here we go again. Dog chasing his tail. Dog is chasing his tail. It's so easy, it's not even fair, Sin. Hang in, we're about ready to pull the plug and we're done. You won't have to deal with this anymore. Wow, okay. Wow. I don't have any words for that kind of stupid. I don't have them. So, you had all those choices. I had all those choices, and you did the wrong one. And you do every time. And it's so easy, it's not even fair. Now, don't fuck with me anymore. Drama queen soap opera. Get the fuck off me. You do not have my consent to peep hack, or call my banks, or call my car dealer, and violate privacy laws. I do not want to have any kind of anything with you. I don't want a fraudulent, whatever you dreamed up and wrote on a piece of paper. It's forgery, not a marriage. I'm nothing to you. You're nothing to me. And you can go out and tell everybody you want. She's my wife. She's my wife. She's my wife. And you look like a fucking idiot because I'm not. I'm not. You are already being made fun of. Gosh, if that's all you have to do to be married to someone today, these days, I'm married to Jennifer Aniston. How fucking weirdo can you get? Don't contact me. Don't. I hate it. Don't contact me. Don't contact me. Mr. Perry, do not. Don't contact me. What that does is piss me off. My guys start going at you harder, and then we get things like we did today. They're expecting you at the car dealer today. Wow, why? Yeah, you already know the answer to that. Don't go. Don't go. Ringtone. 800 zillion times. We got to get a ringtone. Over and over and over, you're caught. Mike was drugged. Mike wasn't on the docket yet, Mr. Perry. When you contact me, that's what happens. We get shit like that. That you're going, how'd she find out? Oh, Lord, how'd she find out? Who's telling on us? We're a bunch of hillbillies over here. We get caught, we do it anyway. Bunch of hillbillies? Oh, God-fearing sex perverts. We gotta go to church on Sunday and read the Bible after we rape a bunch of women, watching them in their house. Fucking their life up. Why don't y'all learn how to talk right? First of all, get the fuck out, Perry. Get the fuck out. When you contact me, in any way, shape, or form, it disgusts me. You disgust me. Where's Jackie and your kids right now? And what do they think you're doing while you're sitting around on your fat, perverted ass bothering me? You have, in 10 years, never gotten a date. You're a 10-year rejected fail. I don't like you. You're a delusional wackadoodle. Don't contact me. Don't. You other people, you guys don't like getting caught, then you better get that bitch under control. Get him off me. He can't control himself. He didn't even know what that looks like. Go be normal, Charles. What about the CJ case? What about it? I kept erasing you're typing in my phone about the CJ case. Something. Shut up and get out of my phone. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you. I don't care what you think. I don't want to hear from you. I want you gone. I think you need to go away. I need you to leave my life. How about that? I think, get out. Get out. Get the fuck out. Get out. What? This is not hard to understand, Mr. Perry. You need to control yourself. Get the fuck out. This is the arrest report right here. Read the last thing. Look, I'm not going to do your homework for you anymore. Tulsa Police, you're going to have to do it all by yourself. Look at the last one. He had something on his hand. That's the people that did this, that could have either done nothing, or stood up in support of Mr. Nealey, yes, Cynthia needs to testify for him. Of course, we can't have this happen to our police. I had nothing to do with that. Let's find out what happened. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's support this guy and his family. Clearly, he wasn't in a fight. Look at him. There's nothing on him. He's got a busted lip from an unrelated incident after the fight. Tulsa police, do you know anybody that can beat a guy to death while drugged and unconscious and end up with not a mark on him? Just a red swollen hand, which, by the way, had an IV in it. Do you know anybody that can do that? Have you ever seen that done? You got super homicide detective Jason White. What does he think? Has he ever seen somebody do that? I don't think so. So Mr. Perry, Mr. Roberson could have then at that point stood up and said, let's find out what happened here. We did not do that. We're going to make sure we're not blamed for that. We're going to find out who did. I can see why there would be a concern about it. She did just file a vandalism complaint about the car, but we had nothing to do with that either. We weren't trying to cover that up by murdering the police officer that was going to investigate it. Right? I don't know. Tulsa police, what do y'all think? What do you guys think? So, yeah, Mr. Perry, that says leave me the fuck alone. All I want is for him to... It doesn't say I don't want him to get elected, does it? It says I want him to leave me the fuck alone. Doesn't it? You are the TikTok guy. That's all you are. You don't mean anything to me at all. You're imagining things that are not real. You'll look ridiculous. Where's your wife and your kids when you're bothering me? I'm a woman that doesn't even like you. I think this is the case. Yep, there it is. What about that? Did you feel so intent? You got to tell me. The fact that you're typing that in my phone. Having a hell of a time with the dry. What about this right here? You went into court and you said you weren't contacting me in the forum state of Oklahoma. And got it denied, got my case dismissed on jurisdiction. And yet now I hear you pretty much live here, that you're in Oklahoma way more than you're in Lubbock, because no one has seen you for some time in Lubbock, and for sure not with your wife and kids and your family. You're always seen with mine. You're always seen with my family, my friends, bothering us, scaring the shit out of my family. Get out of Oklahoma. Nobody invited you here. You guys don't want to be his bitch? You want to be this bitch of a... You're the Sheriff Rowan there? Move to Texas and be his bitch. But get him out of Oklahoma. He's supposed to be an elected official from Texas, right? What's he doing up here? What's he doing up here? So, this is filed. This is just the first page of it. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Anybody that wants to look at it, there's the case number right on it. Go look at it. It's on the docket. Everybody can see it. Charles, shut up. Wait, he'll type in my computer while I'm... He's got to interject and butt in. Get out of my computer. Shut up and get out. You went into court. You claimed you weren't contacting me in Oklahoma. And you are. That's called stalking, genius. I don't want to hear from you. I moved here to get away from you. I don't want to talk to you. I want you to get off me. You're making me feel raped. I don't think that's funny. It's a crime, by the way, in all 50 states. For you, it's federal. So, the fact that you're typing in my phone stuff about this case right here, the CJ case, and I win, call me, I win. He's typing that in my phone and my computer constantly. Right over my typing. I have to delete everything and start over again. It's very frustrating. Do you know it takes me twice as long to get anything done? To have to do that. And I'm going, shut up and get out. The hacking thing is bizarro. I just showed you other victims of hacking from a stalker. Nobody likes it. That is not sexy. It's weirdo. You're weirdo. You're a fucked up weirdo. And that's it. And that's the best you'll ever be. Rejected, fail, fucked up weirdo. You can't do any better than that. Nobody's holding your hand. Nobody's with you. Nobody's in love with you. You're all alone. People make fun of you. Now, get off me. And if you have power, Go get a date with a woman that likes you. Someone you don't have to hold at gunpoint. I'm going to lock her up in prison. We're going to do a fake up marriage. We're going to do this pretend marriage. She can either go along with it or she can sit in jail and rot. We have heard you say those words over and over and over and over in the recordings of you. Also, what we've heard is you told Fabian, I'm going to find a way to lock her up again. And she's not going to get out this time unless she's with me. You need to give up. Who gives you the right to say that? This is America, motherfucker. Guess what happened after that? We started getting more and more recordings of you like crazy. Boy, you pissed everybody off. So Tulsa police, I mean, this is fraud right here, this case. He went into court of law and said, I'm not doing anything to her. And you can see he clearly is. And then he's typing, the fact that you're contacting me by hacking, that's a crime. To tell me something about this case, Mr. Perry, shows that it's fraud, doesn't it? Do you win? Did you? Already? We haven't had a hearing. We haven't had a hearing. How do you know we won? You won. I'm sorry, you won. I don't, have any words for a person that does the bizarro, abnormal, strangeo that you do every day, all day long. And I'm traumatized every day, all day long by you. Also, I'm going to address this thing with Mr. Robertson. The battery, the sexual grabbing a woman's crotch when she's asked you to stop. I'm going to address that right now. I talked with Detective Egan about that. And it was when I got home. I'm badly, severely traumatized. I'd been false arrested. That was what happened to me after I went through what I went through. She was not... I'm not even going to get into everything she said that was off. Way the hell off. Way the fuck off. But what I'm going to tell you is that the little girl in Unbelievable, I get her. Because when you've been traumatized and some cop is supposed to help you and they're just badgering you, and then you say something and it might sound different than what you mean it, then use it. I mean, gosh, you want to use it, use it. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see you use that. What happened is, Detective Egan says to me, I think you just let him grab your crotch or something to that effect. And I had sit there and said, I mean, these people are being horrible to me. These people are, I wasn't. And I finally said, yes, I had to get my evidence. Well, I didn't mean I'm letting him grab my crotch. What I meant was, I didn't run away from the guy. I'm going to get my evidence, detective. So, just like Pinto, I flipped on a recorder. I could have told the bartender, this guy works for my stalker, get him out of here. I didn't. I flipped on my recorder. I'm going to get my evidence. Mr. Robertson was never, ever, at any point in time, for any reason, told, it's okay for you to grab my crotch. Now, when I'm sitting in front of her and I'm all traumatized like I was, I didn't even remember that there were texts about it. When you've been traumatized, you forget things. Your mind blocks. It's a coping mechanism. I completely forgot that there were even texts about it. I get home from talking to her and I'm looking and sure shit, oh my gosh, we actually texted about this issue. And I said no. I told him no. This was before my false arrest. I said, don't grab my crotch. And he texted back, I'm going to do it anyway. I know you don't like it. I'm going to do it anyway. That is what Mr. Perry and Mr. Robertson say to me all the time in their actions. We know you don't like getting peeped on. We're going to do it anyway. We know you don't like it when we try to take your car. We're going to try to take it anyway. And we know you don't like getting, hacked. We're going to do it anyway. Why can't we get a date? Why doesn't she like us? Why won't she go out with Charles? Why won't she do what he said? Wow. I'm not even going to waste my time explaining that one. I'm not. But I'll tell you this. You're getting told on because you're pissing everybody off. Because you're offensive in your conduct. Deviant, sick motherfuckers. Deviant, sick motherfuckers. So, David, you want my response to that? You took one thing out of a very long conversation, and it wasn't really a good conversation. I think it was more revealing about who she was and whose side she was on and what she was up to than it was me. And what I just said is, I don't care who you are. If I think you're corrupt, I'm going to treat you like I think that. And I'm not going to be rude. I wasn't rude or mean to her. But here I had just been through hell. I just lost my house. I'm dropped into a situation, and it's got to be authentic. I wasn't told first, this is what we're going to do. They just dropped me right into it. Do you think that's the first time that's been done? Really? It's not. It's not the first time that's been done. It's been done many a time. They just drop somebody into an op, and because they need you to react authentically. They don't want any pretending, anything. They want it to be real. So, it was traumatizing for me. But the questions that I got were not appropriate. I think you just let him grab your crotch. And I was after she was kind of going, and I just went, yes, I needed to get my evidence. I didn't mean I let him grab my crotch. Nobody grabbed my crotch. And I had texted him that to him. I made my wishes clear in writing. So no. Now, at that moment, I didn't tell her that. I should have. I should have said, no, actually, I texted him. Don't do it. But I was so traumatized, I forgot about the text till I got home. I think they ended up getting him. I think I ended up tweeting him to him or mailing him to him or maybe both. I can't remember, but they've got him. They've got those texts. So, David, don't lie. Don't bullshit yourself and everybody else. Don't do it. You did something to me you shouldn't have done. You absolutely did. And if you're upset about the consequences of that, you're a grown man. Deal with it like a grown man deals with it. The more you fuck with me, the worse you make it for you. Look back on history. You guys are dumb. You don't look back on history and see. Maybe we should, every time we poke this bear, we get our hand bit off. Maybe we ought to stop. I think this bear's bigger than ours. That's what they told me when they did my false arrest. You poked a bear. Like, the fuck does that even mean? So when I say it back to you, I'm making fun of you. You guys have been told that. You better watch out. She'll fuck with you and you won't even know that's what she's doing. Yep. I will. I will absolutely do that. So, that's what that is. Listen, Charles, you want to type to me what you did on this and all, fuck you. You just proved this a fraud case if you're doing that. Get out of my phone. Get out of my computer. Get off me. Go be with Jackie and your kids. Go live your life where you live and leave my family and I alone where we live. We don't want you here. Nobody wants you here. You might have some guys that are your bitches, The greatest thing I can do in my life is be the bitch of a sex pervert. Gold star for y'all. Listen, the rest of us don't. We're sick of you. We're really, really sick of you. And all the shit that you do to cause problems and drama and problems and drama and impose and burden and bother. And, this thing that, listen, you had choices in how to react to my words about Officer Nealey. And you reacted wrong. You reacted in a way that everyone now thinks you're guilty as shit. And that's your problem, isn't it? You're grown men. Act like it. Act like it. Let me tell you something else. I'm going to close with this. My granddad was a chief of police, the county treasurer, and a city councilman. We had to maintain a certain decorum in our behavior, or we got in a lot of trouble. Mr. Perry, you have no idea what that looks like, do you? Not a clue. We could not embarrass Grandlaw with Pete Domenici or Steve Schiff or anybody for that matter. The other officers in Roswell PD. We had to maintain a certain decorum. Bitch, figure out what that looks like because you don't have any idea. You're low class. You are absolutely as low class as they get. If you say you have power, prove that by getting a date with a woman who actually likes you. Instead of holding me at gunpoint, trying to force me into something I don't want to be in. Do you understand? This is a cease and desist, Mr. Perry. Stop contacting me. I hate it. Get your cameras out of my house. Get your shit off me. and go be with your family. Listen, I don't care what you think. I don't care. I don't care what you think any more than the TikTok girl thinks about what this guy thinks about her clothes. It is ridiculous that he would even make a comment. Is it not? Here's the email. March 2020. He didn't get a full talks panel. And he didn't until he got to the hospital. He'd already been given Narcan. Now it's too fucking late. We don't know how much opioids he'd been given. We don't know for sure it was opioids, probably because he responded to the Narcan. But you got to take a blood test and confirm that, don't you? Don't you, Tulsa police? Where's the test before the Narcan? How much was he given? Why was he found unconscious? He wasn't treated for being knocked out in a fight. There's not a bruise on him. How did he come to be unconscious? If not for drugs, and how much drugs, and all of that. And nobody figured that. None of that was. Where's that information? Where's all that? Jason White, detective. He's a, super homicide cop. Everyone knows who Jason White is. If you watch the first 48, he's good at what he does. He's smart. What does he think about that? He's a fellow police officer. What's he think about the way that David and Charles reacted? Yeah. You only are going to commit a RICO Act violation or witness tampering, coercion, all that stuff if you're guilty of the murder and you want that covered up. Right, Jason, detective? I shouldn't call him Jason. I try really hard to, if you're got a lot on your mind, you sometimes forget the decorum, but I promise you, I apologize. I don't mean to. I really do respect Detective White, and I mean to call him Detective White. I really do respect Officer Nealey, and I call him Officer Nealey, and I really do respect Chief Miller, and I call him Chief Miller. You don't often hear me call him Mr. Miller. It's Chief Miller. He's the police chief. He's a police chief. So I apologize if in my panicky whatever I got to deal with on my plate today that's crazy, I forget. I deeply, that's a sincere apology. I'm not kidding. I hate it when I don't have the decorum. So, and the respect that I feel isn't coming across in my voice. So, in my words, I'm not being mean with Detective White. I'm being straight up. I would like to know what he has to say about David and Charles's actions towards me and the acts of aggression. Mr. Perry, listen to me say this to you again. Stop contacting me. Stop it. Stop all forms of all contact and control yourself and go be normal. If you have power, you can just go be normal and keep up with every average person in the United States of America. Mr. Perry, stop contacting me. Stop lying to yourself. We are not a couple. Stop bullshitting yourself. You look like an idiot. You look ridiculous. There's nothing there. You get caught more than ever in your life because you're pissing everybody off. Stop it. This the Narcan. Okay, this was taken in May. I've said this over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Now, if y'all had nothing to do with it, what the fuck is the matter with you? Because it looks like you did. If for nothing else, the way you're coming at me. Shut up, Charles. Okay, so there's that. Now, this, again, Mr. Perry, this stuff is from a year ago. Nope, that's not the right one. It's here. It's from a year ago. He wants me back in. Perry's working to try to force me back to Texas. I don't want to go to Texas. I don't want Charles Perry in my life. Have I not said that enough? Are we unclear? Are we so mentally slow we don't get what those words mean? Do we need to go back to daycare to understand what that means? Yeah, I think sometimes maybe that's it. Daycare. I know I've been in a lot of daycares where you got 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and they're getting into shit, and you go, stop that. And they do. They respond appropriately. And Mr. Perry never responds appropriately to the words just said to him. And then he can't figure out why he can't get a girlfriend. I don't know. Girls don't like stupid. I can't. Listen, I for sure can't do stupid. I can't do it. I'm sorry. That's your problem, not mine. Okay, so you're this guy, Mr. Perry. See how creepy that guy is? Do you see? Does he look like a chick magnet to you? That's you. To me, that's how you come across. She never said, "What do you think of my clothes?" She said, "Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone." And he starts butting in about her clothes. And you do the same thing. Fuck off. All you've been asked to do is leave me alone. All right? We're all sick of you. That's why we're getting so much information. Everybody's sick of you. Go away. Thank you.